39 former post office workers wrongly convicted for fraud and theft had their convictions quashed. Former Manchester United footballer Ryan Giggs has been charged with assaulting 2 women. A French police employee has been stabbed to death at a police station in a town near Paris in what's being considered a terror attack. The weather turning chilly this evening with clear skies. There could be cloud on North Sea coasts in Scotland and Northern England, a low of -1.
LBC Travel, I'm Louise Knight, and the clockwise M25 is partly blocked with an accident between stations at 13 and 14 for Heathrow. Still clockwise, it's slow from 22 at London Coney to Pottersborough at 24 after a lorry broke down and an earlier accident. And anti-clockwise, it's slow towards Sevenoaks at 5 after a van broke down earlier. An earlier accident on the eastbound M20 has left delays of 40 minutes towards Junction 3 for the M26. There are delays of an hour east on the North Circular from Finchley to Walthamstow. Delays of an hour eastbound on the South Circular from Tulse Hill to Elton. A police investigation in Canning Town shut the A124 Barking Road and causing queues. Now onto the trains because of engineering works. King's Cross Main Line station is shut today and all weekend. And South Eastern and Thameslink have delays and cancellations from Raynham to Rochester.
LBC.
At Tesco, we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of our partnership with Cancer Research UK's Race for Life. And this weekend, we're once again turning pink. We're raising money to help fund life-saving cancer research. And you can help too. Please give what you can by rounding up your shop to the nearest pound at self-service checkouts or by donating any unused club card vouchers online. Every little help makes a big difference. All monies raised between 23rd to 25th of April 2021 will be donated to Cancer Research UK, a registered charity in England, Wales, Scotland and Isle of Man.
LBC. If you're a freeholder or a right to manage company director, you'll know your sector never stops. So it's good to know that when your block is looked after by ABC Estates Block Management Team, our family business will never stop looking after you. Service charge collections, we never stop. Insurance, we never stop. Proactive and reactive maintenance, we never stop. Full transparency, we never stop. Non-stop block management services from Aldermartin, Baines and Cuthbert. Call 0800 888 6688 or visit abcestates.co.uk. Work's done, load off. And with 50 free spins when I signed up to PokerStars Casino, I found the thrill and chill. Struck gold in the moments between the moments. You see, this ain't just downtime. No, this is epic downtime.
Join PokerStars Casino today and get 50 free spins on sign-up. Are you in?
New casino players only. Valid on 7 slots, 7-day expiry. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Play responsibly.
If you're a business welcoming back your customers, it's important you keep yourself, your employees, and your customers safe. Because around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. Prevent overcrowding, increase ventilation so that COVID-19 particles are blown away, and ask customers to check in using the NHS COVID-19 app or by providing their contact details. Let's take this next step safely. For further guidance, visit gov.uk/working-safely.
Did you like it, Grandma?
Wonderful, darling. I'd love to hear another one.
Okay.
Ah, the wonderful sounds of everyday life. Hear them all again with Specsavers' advanced range of hearing aids for different lifestyles, hearing loss and budgets. Search Specsavers Hearing.
Another one?
Why not?
We've got it at Selco. Selco is where the trade goes. At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In April, we've got limestone black multi-paving project packs for £16.49 ex-VAT per square metre. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com. We've got it at Selco. Selco is where the trade goes. VAT charged at 20%.
I'm only 54. But when I looked in the mirror, the person in the reflection looked 15 years older. It doesn't need to be like this. It was upsetting in more ways than one. As a leading dental implant practice, Darwood and Tanner can take away the physical and emotional discomfort that missing teeth or dentures can bring. Our world-class expertise is your
key to a good-looking future.
My new smile has given me a new lease of life.
Visit darwoodandtanner.co.uk.
There's big, there's huge, and then there's Car Giants! Freedom, reopening sale now on cargiants.co.uk.
This is LBC with Andrew Pierce. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850. So we're talking about the post office. It has been described with some justification as one of the greatest modern miscarriages of legal justice. Over 750 postmasters, postmistresses prosecuted for accounting errors, for theft, fraud, all sorts of things. And yet it seems very senior people at the post office were more than aware of the problems with the IT system. Isn't it flipping outrageous? Some of these postal staff went to prison. Others went bankrupt. Others had breakdowns. Others saw their marriages break up. And yet these overpaid fat cat post office executives knew all about it. And the fattest cat of the lot, the chief executive, all of them, was left the post office with a CBE for services to the post office. That is one of the highest civil honours you can get, probably awarded to her by the Queen. That should be taken straight back off her, and she had a nice £400,000 payoff. She's also, I'm sure that's very nice for her, she's works for an NHS trust now, obviously, another nice salary. She's a Church of England minister. Wonder what she'll be praying for this weekend. Forgiveness, I would hope. Before we go to the calls, I'm going to talk about the breaking news political story. You remember Dominic Cummings. He's the chap who made a mockery of the government's lockdown rules by first he drove his family to Durham because he thought one of his children or his wife might have COVID. Then he drove 30 miles to the Barnard Castle beauty spot because he wanted to check his eyesight because he was thinking of driving back to London. Now, most people would go to Specsavers to get their eyes tested. He drove his car instead. A completely implausible, plausible, preposterous suggestion. But Boris Johnson didn't sack him. He stuck by him. Anyway, in November, he was fired. He's been blamed by Number 10 on 3 front pages today for being behind a series of leaks. You've heard about the text messages between Boris Johnson and Dyson, the businessman, leaks about the redecoration of the Downing Street flat, leaks about Boris Johnson intervening to help a dodgy old Saudi Arabian sheikh buy Newcastle United Football Club. Cummings has hit back, putting out a very lengthy statement today, and Ben Kentish is here to try and cut through the thicket of detail and make it relevant.
Well, Andrew, explosive is a word that's a bit of a cliche in Westminster, but this is certainly falls into that description. Dominic Cummings not just hitting back at the overnight suggestions from Number 10 sources that he was responsible for the leak of those messages between Boris Johnson and James Dyson, but making fresh allegations designed, one must assume, to damage Boris Johnson. Firstly, the denial. He says very clearly he was not directly or indirectly the source for the story on the PM Dyson texts. But he also addresses suggestions that he was the source of another leak. This takes us back to October, when Boris Johnson's plans for the second lockdown were revealed in a newspaper several days before the Prime Minister was due to announce them. Now, that led a furious Boris Johnson to launch a leak inquiry into how that information had been made public. Number 10 overnight suggesting, Number 10 sources, that Dominic Cummings again had been the man responsible there. Dominic Cummings not just denying that, but pointing the finger and turning the fire very directly onto another official who was at the time working next door in the Cabinet Office for Michael Gove, but has since been promoted to Boris Johnson's Deputy Chief of Staff. And Dominic Cummings makes an explosive claim that when Boris Johnson found out that official allegedly, important to say we haven't had a response yet, Andrew, but allegedly was the source of that lockdown leak, that Boris Johnson had tried to then get the investigation, the leak inquiry stopped, because that official was what Dominic Cummings describes as best friends with Boris Johnson's partner, Carrie Simmons. So a very, very significant allegation there. Dominic Cummings claimed he told the PM at the time that this was mad and totally unethical. But it is important to say, speaking in the last few minutes, Boris Johnson has told LBC, well, Andrew, he's denied that allegation.
Yeah.
Have a listen.
No, Chris, I think look, I think people are interested in the substance of what we're doing. We tried to secure a
Conservative Party or Conservative Party donors to cover the cost of that renovation, although we now learned today that the AT did pay for it himself. But Dominic Cummings, addressing that story, and again the allegation that he was behind the leak of it, says this: the PM stopped speaking to me about this matter in 2020, as I told him I thought his plans to have donors secretly pay for the renovation were unethical, foolish, possibly illegal, and almost certainly broke the rules on proper disclosure of political donations if conducted in the way he intended. So a second potentially damaging allegation from Dominic Cummings directly about Boris Johnson. Now, Andrew, there are all of those in Westminster, including opposition MPs, who say that briefing overnight by Number 10 sources, blaming Dominic Cummings for all these leaks, was designed to distract from the difficulties, the questions that Boris Johnson himself is facing over allegations made by people like Keir Starmer that he broke the ministerial code. That was put to him too by our reporter Charlotte Lynch, who said, is this just a distraction? This was Boris Johnson's answer.
Obviously not, because I've just explained to you in laborious detail what I think about the whole ventilator issue.
Now we're still waiting for a formal response to all the allegations from Number 10. Will they give one, Andrew? That's a question that we wait to see the answer to. Or will they simply keep quiet and hope this undeniably embarrassing public row between former and current Boris Johnson advisors simply dies down and goes away?
All right, that's Ben Kentish, who's LBC's Westminster correspondent. Let's carry on with that conversation about the great scandal with the post offices. Mark's calling from Warwick. Mark, good evening. What do you make of this terrible, terrible, unedifying mess at the post office?
Good evening, Adam. Well, from my perspective, it's something that I've been aware of for quite a lot of years. I used to live in a lovely village in Surrey, where we used to farm, and as a family farm, really. My mum was getting on a bit, but she suffered various illnesses, and she decided to see if she could help out at the local post office, which she did, behind the post office counter. She wasn't, qualified and being trained, I think, by the post mistress and postmaster there. Anyway, after back in 1999, when after some time there, and I can't go by how long, I remember her coming home one day and saying it wasn't as though she worked full time there. It was, sort of 2 or 3 days a week, I guess. She came back and she was really, and for her, she didn't get distraught. She was a very tough lady, and she was fairly distraught. She said, "I couldn't believe this." She said, Wendy and John, I think were the names of the people who ran it, they've had a visit from some form of inspector who says that there's something wrong with their accounting, and they know nothing about it, and they are absolutely mortified. In fact, they're really quite scared. Now, I think that process continued for a while, of them being quite scared by whatever this process was. But I think we also found out at about that time that they were not alone, that others had also faced similar visits and investigations all while they took place. And that actually eased the pressure on them a little bit, because they knew that they weren't alone. But to think that it's gone on.
I was going to say, the point about that, Mark, is how long that's been going on.
Yeah, I heard bits earlier in your show about the computer.
Yeah, Computer Weekly identified it in 2009, and you're going back even further.
I'm going back a lot further because we moved out of the village in 2001. And so, we are talking a long time ago. I don't, I'm pretty sure the things are related because I've been following this story very avidly ever since. I feel so much for those people who have suffered.
Yeah, I bet you're glad your mum's not working for them now.
Well, no, she wouldn't be in a position to go on trade.
Right.
She passed some time ago.
Sorry to hear that, but it's a really, really grubby, unpleasant story, isn't it, Mark?
It really is, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's unlikely in a way that you're going to find someone who's going to want to carry the can off.
Well,
they'll just pass it down the train, won't they?
Exactly. Mark, thank you for sharing that with us. That's Mark talking about how some problems identified back in 1999. And yet these poor people being sent to prison, going bankrupt, they should be hanging their head in shame at the post office. You're listening to me, Andrew Pearce, on LBC. We're getting a little late to the headlines. The time is 6:32. Headlines with Tim Humphrey.
Boris Johnson's former aide, Dominic Cummings, has denied being the source of the Prime Minister's leaked texts with businessman Sir James Dyson. The Prime Minister exchanged messages with the billionaire over tax rules for staff coming back to the UK to help make ventilators at the start of the coronavirus pandemic. 39 former postal workers wrongly prosecuted by the Post Office have had their criminal convictions overturned. Described as one of Britain's biggest miscarriages of justice, some were sent to jail for offences they never committed. Former Manchester United midfielder Ryan Giggs has been charged with assault and controlling or coercive behaviour. The Wales manager is accused of causing actual bodily harm to a woman in her 30s and common assault of another in her 20s. The weather turning chilly this evening with clear skies. There could be cloud on North Sea coasts in Scotland and northern England, a low of -1.
Leading Britain's conversation at the weekend, Rachel Johnson.
We might be on a slippery slope towards some sort of police state.
David Lammy.
Debating the existence of racism rather than doing anything about it.
Natasha Devon.
Gavin Williamson has said that he was shocked by the extent of harassment within education. If you're shocked, you have not been paying attention.
Listen across the weekend live on Global Player. LBC.
It's time to get your business back on track. At Total Jobs, we've been helping our customers hire the people they need for over 20 years. That's why they rate us excellent on Trustpilot. So if you're looking to grow your team, do it with a team you can trust. Total Jobs. Advertise today at totaljobs.com/hire. I'm Dr. Helen and I'm a GP. It's great that life's getting back to normal, but COVID still hasn't gone away. And we all know that catching it can be serious. If not for you, then for someone else. So if you're feeling under the weather, or you can't taste or smell your food, or you have a cough that won't stop, please don't ignore it. Don't wait, don't guess, get a test today. Order one online at nhs.uk/get tested, or use the NHS COVID-19 app.
There's big, there's huge, and then there's Car Giants! Freedom, reopening sale now on cargiants.co.uk.
Home working. We've set at kitchen tables, dining tables, even dressing tables. So make home working work for you with a new CCM Smart Desk. It'll raise and lower into any sitting or standing position you prefer to work from, all at the touch of a button. It's even got built-in USB and wireless smartphone charge points. Pre-order with £100 off for just £329, including free delivery from mysmartdesk.co.uk. Winner. Can you hear it? That's a winner. And another one. That's the sound of sweet, sweet, epic downtime with a winner every second on PokerStars Casino. Nothing never sounded so good.
Join PokerStars Casino today and get 50 free spins on sign-up. Are you in?
New casino players only, valid on 7 slots, 7-day expiry. Data based on UK daily averages from September 2020 to February 2021. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Play responsibly.
Right, you know what to do. Same deal as last year. Let's go for a take.
The Mayor of London and London Assembly elections are taking place on
The 6th of May.
6th of May. Got it. Right.
Let's try that again from the top.
Understood. The Mayor of London and London Assembly elections are taking place on the 6th of May. Find out how you can take part at londonelects.org.uk. Have your say.
Great, that'll do nicely.
When the world slowed down, you didn't. When others started another book set, you started your first screenplay. When others had lions, you did morning sprints. But now, things are reopening. Go-getters, time to go get. The redesigned Jaguar range with luxurious interiors, updated Pivi infotainment, and electrified powertrain options. Now available for extended test drives. Contact your local Jaguar retailer to book. Specifications vary per model, terms and conditions apply.
Andrew Pearce on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Carrying on talking to you about the post offices, talking about the way the post office. How many were cleared today? 39 postmasters and postmistresses cleared today. They had their convictions quashed after what's being described as the UK's worst miscarriage of justice. They've been convicted of stealing money. Some of them were jailed after the post office installed a computer system in branches which was flawed. Some of those whose lives are ruined now want those responsible to be punished. I think they're quite entitled to ask for that. The judgment was met with cheers from ex-postmasters outside court, held by the Prime Minister, who said the original convictions were an appalling injustice. So why is nobody being held accountable for that appalling injustice? Why were hundreds of sub-postmasters prosecuted? Why were so many lives destroyed by it? Why did the Post Office allow these prosecutions to go ahead when they covered up evidence from their own independent investigation into what was wrong with their IT system? 6 other convictions were overturned in December. This means more people have been affected than in any other miscarriage of justice in the UK's legal history. I'll give you one example. Janet Skinner, she ran a post office in Hull, imprisoned in 2007 for 9 months. There was £59,000 missing from her post office. She said the case destroyed everything. Like others, she had no idea that about other prosecutions, and of course, as it turned out, all that was wrong was nothing to do with her honesty and integrity. It was the IT system. Appalling. Let's go to the calls. Kieran's calling from Ash in Aldershot. Hello, Kieran.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Very well, thank you. What do you think?
I think it's a final vindication for all of the people who suffered immensely.
Right.
I'm glad finally some of the truth is finally coming out. But I'm coming at it from a slightly different perspective. And my perspective is that I would like you to ask the question. I don't have the answer, and I hope as a journalist you will be easily able to ascertain this. What percentage of these 735 were Asian or ethnic? I suspect that number will be very high.
Right.
And I suspect that has a bearing. And why?
What
I say it from the context because when I first came to this country in early mid-80s, and my brother was a sub-postmaster, and he ran that as a local store, and I know from personal experience that how intimidating these people were who used to come to do these surprise audits and checks.
Right.
I mean, my brother was a big man who could look after himself, but the whole intimidation in the whole process was worse than police coming and raiding your house. It was of that ilk.
What do you say?
That's a simple audit, and then also from that experience, the fact that in those days these were broken down into wards, it was clear that the people who were from Asian background were getting very different outcomes for the same situations where other people of different background were. So there was a definite bias at that time from the people who deal with it, who feel it. And I would certainly like you to look into the fact that what percentage of this is that population.
Well, you raised a
Because
very interesting
there is a
point.
very interesting conversation going on about institutional bias. It would be interesting to see if there is a correlation.
Well, Kieran, it's fascinating you should mention, because I don't think anybody's raised that before. And if you think, when I think about it, we know a lot of postmasters, postmistresses are often they're Asian family-run businesses. So that's an interesting point. Your brother, when those audits went on, did he feel he was being given a hard time because of the colour of his skin?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think that would be going a bit far. But I was just trying to paint that these audits were very intimidating.
Right.
And the way this was carried out was quite intimidating. And that day would have been extremely tense. He would be on his tenterhooks just in case they find something amiss. Because it almost was, that was it, case closed.
Yeah.
They'll shut you down. You have invested, your life savings in buying a post office. And you could literally be shut down by one person with little or no say while you can fight for it after the fact. I'm just giving you a context of
Yes, I'm very, and it's very,
people will have that.
it's very useful. Can I ask you, what is your brother still with us? Is he?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid no, he passed away some years ago, nothing to do with this.
Right, okay.
But it was just, he was in that, he held the post office for some years.
Did he? I wonder what he'd have made. I wonder what he'd have made of this shocking injustice, Kieran.